All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure when the stream exactly cut off, but my streaming client froze and that was it. Anyway, I'm just going to pick up where I think I left off. There was some very interesting conversation here yesterday on X with Elon Musk and the creator of Dogecoin. Basically, what ended up happening, Shibatoshi Nakamoto, the creator, said, if you want to remove the inflation of Dogecoin, the code is right here. And he sent a link to the GitHub with the code. He said it's line 146, return 10,000 X coin. He said you can literally change the rate or remove the rate of inflation of Dogecoin. You can change the code right there, make a pull request, and convince the community and miners to use the new version, and that's it. You have a revised version of Dogecoin with either less inflation or none. And as long as you could get multiple community members, the majority to be in favor and the miners to start mining that and securing that network, that's the updated, new and improved Doge. And then, so that's interesting, thing number one. But what's even more important than that is then Elon Musk comes in and replies. And he says, I think the flat inflation of Dogecoin, which means decreasing percentage inflation, is a feature, not a bug. So here we have Elon Musk responding to this tweet here, talking about Dogecoin, saying that he thinks the way that Dogecoin is set up right now is actually a positive thing. It's actually a feature, and it's not something that needs to be changed. And then Shibatoshi responds and then says basically what I've been saying for a long time. He said, I agree that it is ideal for something intended as a currency. Steady, predictable inflation with a percentage that goes down much, much lower than the dollar. And I think this is important because what a lot of people, when they say, because even remember SHIB, right? And it's still popular, so it's not like remember because you forgot, but consider SHIB. People say with SHIB that, and this is what they want. It's like everybody buys up millions and millions of coins, right? They buy up millions of coins, and then what they want to do is they want to burn them. And by burning the coins, you're reducing the coins that are total out there in circulation. And so you're making the coins that you have more valuable. And that's how people are thinking they're going to make their money. They're like, let's buy this and then let's destroy a lot of it so that each one of ours is worth more. And then it's like free money. We're basically just making ourselves money by doing that. That's one way to do things. But think about the US dollar. When we're talking about a currency here, we do make new dollars. We do print money, and we have printed money, and there is inflation in the dollar, and that has not stopped us from using the dollar. Now, obviously, it can be frustrating sometimes when it gets out of hand, but it's kind of a feature of the way that the dollar exists for more dollars to be made over time. Like we understand the concept of inflation. When it's controlled, it is what it is. For Dogecoin to be creating a fixed amount of new coins every year, that's not a bad thing per se, because, and this I won't get into for long because we've talked about this before and it's a long conversation, but yeah, you look at how many Dogecoin exist, and yes, there's a lot of coins, but then imagine if we do actually have widespread adoption. Everybody's going to need some coins. There needs to be enough to go around, right? And then as time progresses, as more people exist, as more new people exist, right? And others older, maybe people that have passed away, there's people that are holding their Doge and it's just sitting stagnant in wallets, whatever. It's going to be kind of beneficial to have new Dogecoin being printed. It just helps with ensuring that there's the ability to circulate this currency to a healthy degree, but also the inflation rate is fixed because we know that every single period of time, and let's just say for the sake of simplicity, every single year, there's a certain set amount that does not change being created. And so the more that exists, technically, the less a percentage inflation that is. And it's very easy to think about, because let's just say you start with $1, and you say that every year we're going to print $1. Well, year one, that inflation is 100% because you just doubled, the amount of dollars in circulation. You went from 1 and you increased that by 100%. That's 100% inflation year one. But then year two, that kind of gets cut down, right? To like 50% inflation. And then year 3, that number changes again. And it's just like this curve here. Because the supply is being increased by a fixed amount, the percentage gain or the percentage increase is actually going down the more that you end up with in circulation. And so eventually this number continues to become extremely low. And for that reason, if demand stays the same and supply does not keep entering the market at the same level, and the demand, the usage of it and the demand for more of it continues to remain linear, eventually you end up with a really healthy currency that could even, either completely stabilize in value, or it could start to go up in value over time if that demand outweighs the supply. So anyway, Doge just has that already. It's already set up for success. Sure, there could be some tweaks here and there, but obviously there's tweaks that can be made. I just think we're setting up for Doge to be the coin, the go-to. So I don't really see anything else. So I'm not looking really at anything else, and that's the way I stand today. I'll close this out by going to Bitcoin's chart, because I know we are wondering, what's Bitcoin going to do? Is Bitcoin going to hold? Is it going to sell off? What's next? And to be perfectly honest, guys, it is very, very difficult to say, because this move, not only are we at all-time highs, but we are not really near any significant, and let me just zoom out before I finish that statement. Yeah, so we're not really near a support. We're near the 100,000, the 95 to 100,000 resistance that we talked about already, but I mean, there's nothing really to say here, except it just depends on what the people want to do. If everyone's feeling really, really positive still about this and they want to buy and they feel like 87 is a good value, then that's going to hold us where we are, and we're going to probably continue to progress up with the next few candles and break 100K and move on. If there's still some uncertainty about what's going to happen next, then maybe we don't, and we hit the 93,000 level, which was also Doge 42, 43. And that's going to be our top for now, but it's really can either go one or two ways in my opinion, because I think either way, as long as things keep playing out positively, we are going to break 100K and move up. It's just a matter of when. And so when we're trying to figure out what the timeline is for that, I think it depends on how confident people are in the Trump administration staying true to what their promise was. Because Trump said, right, that he wanted the United States to be basically the capital of Bitcoin, that we lead the operation. So if he decides to stick to that, and actually, we're putting forth efforts to bring on as much mining here to the US as possible, and we're looking to integrate this into day-to-day life, payments for things, so on and so forth, this is going to take off. It's just a matter of how confident people are, because right now he's not in office. He's just still setting things up for when he begins in January. So if people are extremely bullish and confident, we could start to see all that getting priced in now. But if people are a little more skeptical, they might just wait until the signs of those things happening occurs and then buy in once it does. So the what's going to happen next is just too difficult to say, because I'm only me. And I in this case don't have a clear view of what everyone else is thinking. A lot of times I do, but there's nothing to go off of here. So I'm not sure. I think the thing that we should do, though, is just continue to look at these candles on the longer term chart and just see what they tell us. And that's going to really help us forecast what's going to happen next. But right now we're just kind of floating halfway in between support and resistance. We saw we got to 93K. We're on the weekly chart right now, and we saw a massive sell-off as people took profit. And so now this is turning into a rejection wick. But not only does this week have to close before this candle closes, and if it does, obviously that's a bit of a bearish candle, but then still, with there being a lot of hype right now, it's not just that black and white. We do have to still see what the next candle and two candles after that's going to be before we can start to get a really good idea of what the market's feeling. But all that being said, if you are holding something like Doge, just keep in mind, we already talked about in our Discord group, and I believe on Twitter too, what was most probable 4 Dogecoin positions here, and I said that I did expect Bitcoin to get, you know, above 90,000. I said I expected a stopping somewhere between 95 to 100, but you know, 93.5, it was a little short of what I thought we'd get to. But regardless, what I was talking about was the Dogecoin price target for if we hit that area was going to be between, I said 42 and 45 cents, and that was probably the good take profit place. So if you were looking to sell, if you followed that advice, then you are probably very happy right now. But that's just based off of trends. Like we know what's happened in the past, and things just tend to repeat themselves. So hopefully, if you were looking to sell the top, you already did. If not, I don't think it's a bad idea to hold some Doge. But if you're holding a lot and you're up big and you've been in from early, consider taking some profit just in case we do pull back further, because you're probably going to want to have some money to buy the dip if we do sell off some. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we're still in a relatively bullish cycle here. I'm still feeling confident, but just know we moved up significantly on pretty much everything in a short period of time. There's going to be a lot of people looking to take profit now, and those people are smart, but you also be smart. You know, we need to make sure we're smart. And if we decide to keep holding, I would not do so with 100% of my money invested still. Take some profits off the table, pay yourself, reward yourself for your hard work and for what you've done. That's good and beneficial. And use that to buy the dip on a pullback. Or if there is none and you sell, you take profit and we take off, just remember there are other things to invest in. So look for another opportunity and buy that. There's plenty of them right now, and I'll plan to talk about some of those tomorrow. Anyway, I didn't want to go too long with this stream. Just wanted to give some quick updates. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like this video, please. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And most importantly, if you don't already, follow me on x.com. That's where I post more frequent updates, trade alerts, all of that good stuff. So x.com, you'll find me at 2020 Tech Reviews.